She didn't think losing you would hurt until you were actually gone. Welcome to Stoic Horizon. Embrace love with Stoic wisdom. Let me ask you something. Have you ever poured your soul into someone, your time, your heart, your energy, only to be treated like an afterthought? Like you were just there, waiting in the background? She didn't say it, but she thought you'd never leave. You were dependable, loyal, steady, the one who always checked in, followed up, showed care, and she got used to that. Too used to it. But what if the strongest thing you could do wasn't to fight for her attention? What if the real power was in disappearing? Not out of anger, not to hurt her, but because you finally chose yourself. Today, we're going to walk through the 9 intense emotions a woman feels when you disappear without warning. And trust me, this isn't about playing games. This is about reclaiming your worth, your power, and your peace. There's also a 10th stage at the end. It's not about her, it's about you, and it'll change the way you see everything. If you're done being the one who always stays, if you're ready to step into your strength, stay with me. This might be the most important conversation you've had in a long time. Let's begin. Number 1. The shock of sudden rejection. At first she brushes it off. She tells herself, he's probably just busy. He's done this before. But deep down, something feels different. This time, there's no goodnight text, no call back, no explanation, just silence. At first, it's just confusing. Then it starts to sting, because it's not just your physical absence she feels. It's the loss of everything you brought with you, the support, the effort, the care, the consistency, gone in one quiet, deliberate move. And now, for the first time, she's the one left wondering. You see, when someone gets too comfortable with you always being there, they start treating you like you'll always be there. They stop appreciating the little things, they stop showing up, they take your loyalty for granted. You became her emotional safety net, her constant. But when you vanished without warning, without drama, you pulled that net right out from under her, and suddenly, she's in free fall. That feeling, it's not just confusion, it's rejection, but not the kind that bruises the ego, the kind that rattles the soul. Because when you disappear without explanation, you force her to sit with a truth she never expected. She didn't have control over you. You were never hers to command. You chose to stay, until you didn't. And that's what hits the hardest. She didn't realize the quietest goodbye would be the one that echoes the loudest. This isn't about playing games. This is about power, your power. And this moment, it's the beginning of her reckoning. Number 2, the emptiness she can't escape. Once the sting of rejection sets in, something else quietly creeps in. The emptiness. At first she tells herself she's fine. She convinces herself, I needed space anyway. Maybe she even smiles in public, laughs with her friends, posts something that looks carefree. But behind closed doors, it starts to hit. The mornings feel a little colder now. The silence stretches longer. The routines, the coffee, the commute, the quiet nights feel hollow. The smiles, forced. Because what's missing isn't just a person, it's you. You weren't just a name in her contacts or someone who filled her time. You were a presence, a steady, grounding energy in her life. Your consistency, your humor, the way you made her feel safe, seen, and supported. That's not easy to replace. And believe me, she'll try. She'll reach for distractions, maybe reconnect with old friends, throw herself into work, scroll endlessly, maybe even date someone new. But none of it lands, none of it fits. Because what she's missing isn't just company, it's connection. She starts to notice it in the smallest things, the way no one quite listens the way you did, the way nobody checks in just to make sure she's okay, the way her heart doesn't light up when her phone buzzes anymore. That's the thing about real presence. When it's gone, everything feels a little more gray, and every time she reaches out or tries to check on you online and finds nothing, that void grows deeper, heavier. You're not just absent, you're unreachable. And that realization, it hits harder than she ever imagined, because it's in your silence that she finally understands what you truly meant to her. Number 3, when curiosity turns to obsession. After the rejection, after the emptiness, curiosity creeps in. Quiet at first, but it grows louder, stronger, relentless. Where did you go? Are you thinking about her? Have you moved on? She doesn't ask these questions out loud, not yet, but in her mind they play on repeat. She becomes a quiet investigator, a silent detective, opening your old messages, scrolling through photos, checking your last scene, checking again and again. Maybe she even asks a mutual friend casually, "Hey, have you talked to him lately?" Trying to sound indifferent, but inside she's aching for a glimpse of your world. The irony? She never thought she'd care this much. She thought you'd always be there. Easy to reach, easy to read, but now you've become a ghost. No posts, no stories, no subtle hints, nothing. And in a world drowning in information, your silence becomes unbearable. You see, people can handle distance. They can handle disagreements. But mystery? That drives them crazy. Because when you're completely unreachable, you stop being predictable and start being fascinating. You become the unsolved puzzle, the question she can't stop asking, the what if she can't get out of her head. She imagines you laughing with someone else, living your best life, unbothered, unattached, and her thoughts? They spiral because she can't see what's going on. Her mind fills in the blanks, and every imagined scene of you moving on hurts more than anything real. She never planned to miss you. She never meant to obsess. But the truth is, you've become the one mystery she can't figure out. And in her world of control, that makes you impossible to forget. Number 4, facing the truth in silence. After the curiosity wears her down, after the endless scrolling, the silent questions, the imagined scenes of you with someone else, the spotlight finally turns inward. At first, she tries to push it away, to blame the timing, to tell herself, he just changed. But late at night, when the distractions fade and the silence returns, her mind starts replaying the past like a film she can't pause. Every ignored message, every time she rolled her eyes when you showed up with love, every quiet moment when you needed reassurance and she brushed it off. And then it hits. Did I push him away? It's a question that cuts deep because now there's no one there to answer it, no one to smooth it over, no one to blame. You're not there anymore. Not to defend her, not to explain yourself, not to rescue the moment. She's alone with the truth. And the truth is, you didn't just leave. You walked away with a reason that lives in every moment she took for granted. Every time she acted like your presence was permanent. Every time she forgot you had the power to choose. And you chose peace over patterns. This stage, it's brutal. Because for the first time, she sees what you were silently carrying. The effort, the patience, and now she's holding up the mirror. Not the one she shows the world, but the one that reflects back her own part in the loss. That kind of reflection doesn't lie. It hurts. It humbles, and it changes people. But here's the thing. Don't interrupt this process. Don't come back to explain. Don't ease the guilt. Let her sit with it. Let her face herself. Because this is where transformation begins. Not in your return, but in your absence. Number 5, when she starts chasing you. Now the shift happens. Everything inside her, the pride, the distance, the nonchalance, starts to crumble. Because once the self-reflection sets in, so does the pull. She starts missing you in waves, not just the idea of you, but you, your words, your calm presence, the way you made her feel safe, without asking for anything in return. And that urge, it's no longer subtle. It begins with a soft breadcrumb, maybe a late-night hey, just one word, simple but heavy, or she might like an old post of yours. You know the one she ignored when it actually mattered. Now, hoping you'll notice. Maybe she sends a message, vague but meaningful. I've been thinking about you. And behind those few words is everything she never said when she had the chance. But here's where you stand strong. Here's where you lean into your growth. You don't need to respond. You don't need to validate, explain, or feed the fire. Because now she's chasing what she once overlooked. And that shift, that's where the power lives. Not in being cold, not in revenge, but in your quiet knowing that you no longer need what you used to beg for. That's what stings her the most. Not your absence, but your indifference to returning, because for the first time, she wants you more than you want her. And that changes everything. Number 6, freedom that feels like regret. For a moment, just a flicker, she might feel something that looks like relief. She tells herself, I'm better off now. I can do what I want, when I want. He's out of sight, out of mind. And maybe for a few days she believes it. She goes out, laughs louder, posts a selfie that screams unbothered, maybe even lines up a date just to feel wanted again. It's that first taste of freedom. But it's not freedom, it's distraction. Because no matter how much she fills her calendar, no matter how many notifications light up her phone, your silence still lingers. And the louder the world gets, the more deafening your absence becomes. It hits when the night winds down, when the music stops, when the people leave. She's left staring at the ceiling, wondering if this new freedom was worth losing someone who saw her fully. And that's when it happens. Regret. Not loud, not dramatic. Just a slow, sinking ache in her chest. Because the people she thought could replace you, they don't see her. They don't understand her moods, her silences, her edges. They don't speak her emotional language like you did. You gave her stability, and she traded it for noise. Now that so-called freedom tastes like emptiness, and the connection she once dismissed, now it feels irreplaceable. But you're not there to remind her of it. You're not standing by, waiting to be chosen again. That realization, it doesn't just hurt, it haunts. Number 7, she plays games. You stay silent. When regret settles in, the games begin. Not because she's healed, not because she's over you, but because she's desperate to get a reaction. So she does what many do when they start losing control. She tries to manipulate the moment. A cryptic caption, a selfie angled just right, posted at just the right time. Maybe even a story with someone new, not because she's happy, but because she wants you to think she is. It's not subtle, it's not sincere, it's strategy. She wants you to notice. She wants you to wonder, to feel just a hint of jealousy, to come running back. But here's what she didn't expect. You're not playing anymore. You've outgrown the need for performance. You've stepped out of the arena. And now she's throwing sparks at a heart that's already found peace. And nothing confuses someone more than being ignored while they're trying to get your attention. Because every cryptic post she makes, every baited message, every passive-aggressive signal, it all bounces off silence. No likes, no replies, no reaction. You're not angry. You're not bitter. You're just unavailable. She's playing checkers, making noise, making moves, hoping you'll bite. But you're playing chess with silence, strategic, still, focused, and that drives her mad. Because the game only works when both people play. But you're not playing to win her back. You're playing to keep your peace, and that is a game she can't touch. Number 8, the heavy silence that breaks her. At first, silence was just confusing, then frustrating, but now, it's heavy. Because silence is no longer just a strategy, it's a statement, a quiet, unshakable message that echoes louder than anything she ever said. You lost access to me, and that hits different. She remembers all the times you waited for her to reply, all the times you reached out with care, with patience, and got indifference in return. Now she's the one staring at her phone, rereading old messages, checking for a notification that never comes, refreshing, waiting, wondering. But you're still silent. No angry texts, no emotional breakdowns, no late night I miss you messages, just peace. And in a world addicted to instant responses, constant updates, and emotional noise, your silence becomes unbearable. She thought she'd always have access to you. She thought she could circle back when she was ready, that you'd still be there, waiting, hoping. But now, you're gone. Not just physically, emotionally, energetically. She can't reach you. Not really. Not in the way she used to. And that loss, it's not loud. It doesn't explode. It sinks deep into her chest, heavy on her mind, crushing in its finality. She may not admit it out loud, but in her silence, she's screaming for your presence. And what hurts the most? You're no longer listening. Number 9, the fear that fuels her return. Finally, fear arrives. Not frustration, not pride, not even sadness. Fear, raw, heavy, undeniable. It's the kind that creeps in late at night when her mind starts asking the questions she's tried to avoid. What if he's really gone? What if someone else sees what I didn't? What if he found someone better? And suddenly, the images start forming. She pictures you smiling again, at peace, laughing with someone new, giving to another woman the same depth, the same loyalty, the same love she once dismissed. And it terrifies her. Because for the first time, she realizes she didn't just lose a person. She lost a good man. Someone who showed up, who stayed steady through the storm, who loved her genuinely. Now she's haunted by the thought that someone else is receiving what she once took for granted. That fear, it breaks past her ego, and it drives her to do things she swore she'd never do. The long, emotional texts, the unexpected call, the apology that's 3 pages long, maybe even showing up uninvited just to look you in the eyes and try to undo the silence. But here's the truth. By the time fear brings her crawling back, you're already free. You've outgrown the old cycles. You've reclaimed your peace. You're no longer needing closure because you found clarity. She's reaching for something that no longer exists because the man she's trying to return to, he's not waiting anymore. And that is the final blow. Number 10, your power. Emotional independence. This is your moment, not hers, yours. Because now it all becomes clear. You didn't disappear to get a reaction. You didn't ghost her to spark jealousy or prove a point. You didn't fall silent to punish her. You walked away to reclaim yourself. This was never about her. It was about you, your peace, your energy, your healing. Because the version of you that used to chase, that used to over-explain, over-give, and overlook, you're no longer seeking validation, no longer craving love that comes with conditions, mixed signals, or confusion. You've stepped into something far greater, emotional independence. You're whole, you're calm, you're unshaken, and that is Stoicism. You don't need to prove your worth. You know it. You don't beg for clarity, you embody it. And the most powerful part, she feels it. She senses the change, not just in your absence, but in your presence within yourself. She knows you're no longer waiting, no longer hoping, no longer wondering. You're not a fallback, you're not an option, you've evolved. And just like that, her access to you has quietly expired. No revenge, no drama, just elevation. This is your peace now. Own it, protect it, and never give it away for less than it deserves. So what's the real lesson? Sometimes strength isn't loud. It's not in chasing, explaining, or proving your worth. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to walk away quietly and never look back. Not to hurt her, not to play games, but to finally, fully honor yourself. Your peace, it's not up for negotiation. Your presence, it's a gift, not something to be taken for granted. When you reclaim your worth, everything changes. So, if you're ready to stop being an option, if you're done begging for what you deserve, let this be your moment. Let this be the line you draw in the sand. And if this message stirred something inside you, a truth you've known but needed to hear, consider subscribing to Stoic Horizon. Because around here, love meets wisdom, and your peace becomes your superpower. You've got this, and I'm right here with you every step of the way. See you in the next video.